Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome to a new replay analysis. Today we're not gonna take a look at a game of mine, but we're gonna take a look of Chill King's game. Chill King is a gold level Zerg and we're gonna have a look at what went wrong in this Zerg vs Zerg. Now Chill King is a subscriber on Twitch TV and I will actually start doing this much more regularly. Every now and then on the YouTube channel, I'm actually thinking once a week right now, I'm going to be uploading a video where I analyze your games, potentially your games, and it's gonna be from a random Twitch TV subscriber. So if you want to be part of it, make sure to click the link in the description. It will take you straight to my Twitch TV page. And if you decide to subscribe, I might pick your replay next time around. Now we're gonna take a look at this game right here. Chill King, I will give you the spoiler right now. Chill King is going to lose this specific game to a pretty aggressive push from his opponent. Now he's going to execute a build order that I'm also actually a big fan of. He's gonna execute a build that is extremely good on this map. It is a gasless build where he doesn't get those gas geysers in the main up, but he decides to defend early on with a spine crawler, a couple of queens, and a couple of zerglings if they turn out to be necessary. Now meanwhile, his opponent, Cross Killer, we can actually have a quick speed through this game, is gonna go for a much greedier and much more aggressive build. And we're gonna try and have a look at what went wrong for Chill King, because this is obviously something that especially people in the lower leagues have a lot of problems with. So first of all, we're gonna have a quick look at the game to see what happens and how we can actually deal with this. Especially in the lower leagues, like I was already mentioning. It happens quite often that players aren't completely sure what is going on and how all of a sudden they manage to lose. So as you can see, Chill King manages to scout. Okay, my opponent is gone for a natural right now. Everything seems to be fine and dandy. And then all of a sudden a ton of Zerglings run out and, Chill King just sort of dies. Now this is especially true in the lower leagues, mostly because there seems to be a whole lot of random things. Now here we go. We see, what is his opponent name? Cross Killer go for a couple of Zerglings. He manages to take all this stuff out. And the game is pretty much over at this point, because honestly, a lot of drones, actually how many of drones were lost right there? Yeah, 8 drones were killed right there in total, which is already a lot. And honestly, we could watch the game further than this. We are actually going to just speed to the very end, but honestly, like, the game is over right now, right? Like, the game is pretty much done. There's a big economy advantage for Cross Killer. Well, right now it evened up because he actually started going for an aggressive push with roaches. But in general, at this point, the game should have already been lost. And there should not be a way that Chill King can win this game anymore if Cross Killer is playing perfectly. And we always want to assume that our opponent is actually playing perfectly. So, after taking a big hit in the earlier part of the game, Chill King just sort of gets overrun right now, and yep, there we go, and GG is called. So, what went wrong? Let's have a look at what actually triggered this push to go wrong by Cross Killer. Let's go back to the very start right now. And there's a couple of things that Chill King should really tighten up. In general, the build order looked to be okay, but there are a couple of things that could have actually been improved upon. Let's have a look at the first one. First and foremost, we're gonna take a look at the build order. Now, this might seem like a super easy build order, and honestly it is, but Chill King makes one major mistake. He does the early part very well, though, going for a hatchery into a spawning pool, starting the double queens right away, making a couple of scouting zerglings, and starting the double spine crawler. So far, this is pretty much Grandmaster level, right? Like, there's no mistakes whatsoever. He's been spending his larvae effectively, he's been spending this just very, very well. But right now, once these first 2 queens pop out, you can actually see how important this is. This might seem like I am actually being, annoying right now, but, you should really be absolutely as aggressive as you possibly can with your build order. So right now, let's see what happens right here with this hatchery. There's a queen out. He injects properly with it, but right now, Chill King actually hits a little bit of a supply block, which actually causes him to not have enough supply right now to make the 3rd and the 4th queen. That is the first major mistake. And you might be like, okay, that never happens in my game. Well, if you're actually below somewhere like Diamond, this will probably happen very, very regularly in your game. And you need to make 100% sure that you make that 23-24 Overlord in the early part of the game. Because these 4 queens need to be out in order to actually defend against this early push that's gonna come out. So these queens should have started right away, and they're still only just now started. Now, as you can see, these queens are once again at around 17 energy, which means that those queens are about a full 20 seconds later. Now, let's have a look at the actual push. That will come in very shortly. Imagine right now, this queen would have just popped, okay? Look how tightly this is. Look how completely, extremely important it is to line up this build order perfectly. imagine that you're up against this amount of Zerglings right now by Craftkiller. Craftkiller has 16, he has 19 Zerglings right now in your mineral line. You have 2 queens right here. You got a spine crawl, which is already a lot. But imagine if you managed to actually save these 20 seconds on these 3rd and 4th queens, you would have had a super easy time to defend against this. Especially knowing that we're gonna point out the second thing very soon. But imagine having 4 queens out right now. It would have been absolutely easy to deal with these Zerglings. Now that said, there's also a second indication that you could have also done a little bit better choking in this game. Where you're actually making a slight error in the early part of the game, which comes back to overlord positioning. Let's have a look at when these Zerglings move across the map, okay? It should be... Let's have a look. Right around right now. Let's have a look at the actual overlord positioning that you got right now. So, if we select division right now of choking, what does he see? Sadly, if we take a look at the actual minimap, we only really see this part right here. And honestly, that is not very much. Now, you might get a glimpse right there of Zerglings, but that's just not enough vision. So, whenever you're fighting, especially in Zerg versus Zerg, it is absolutely crucial that you always... Okay, you need to have the following mindset. Whenever you're fighting, always make sure that you have complete vision of all attack paths on a map. So always think, okay, if my opponent goes for a rush, what would be the shortest rush distance? This is where your first overlord will go. So right now, if you imagine going from this ramp right here, which is the natural of Craftkiller, to Choking's natural, which would be the shortest path to take? Well, the Zerglings will run down this path. They'll actually run by right here. We'll go through the middle, make sure they took the middle part, and now they're at the natural. So you always need to make sure that your first overlord is gonna cover this first attack path. So instead of putting your overlord up here, spotting the natural, you know that this natural is up. After spotting it, I would actually send it all the way back here, so you would actually have been able to actually scout this push coming. Now the same goes for your second overlord. In this game, Choking decided to send his second overlord to the natural. Now a little tiny slight adjustment would be sending your overlord right around here, which covers another attack path, and then the third overlord, which got put right there, I believe, could have been right over here, which would mean you have full vision of all the move out paths that Craftkiller can take. And this is something that you can easily decide after a loss like this. Just look at the replay and be like, oh my god, all of a sudden Zerglings were in my natural? How could I have prevented that? So imagine right now... Oh, I actually hit a button right there. But imagine... Where are the Zerglings? Ooh, there they come. No, actually, we should go back a little bit. But imagine you would have spotted these Zerglings from running away right now. Let's say you would have... God, I did it again! Ah! Okay, well, here we go. Imagine you spot these Zerglings running around right now, okay? How long does it take for a Zergling to build? Well, let's have a look. A larva is here. It is taking 24 seconds for a Zergling to be building right now. Considering you're not supply block right now, considering you got a couple of larvae available, let's have a look at how long it would take him to actually run across the map. So keep in mind, if you would have had proper overlord vision, you would have actually had 24 seconds that you need to buy time with to actually get Zerglings out. So let's see how long it takes for these Zerglings to run across the map. So you would have spotted them right now, which means 24 seconds would add up to 36. So as long as you have Zerglings out at 36, you would have been fine. Let's have a look. So the Zerglings are running across the map, running across the map, running across the map. Bam! This is the point that Zerglings could have come out, okay? This is also the point that the third and fourth queen would have popped. So making minor little tiny adjustments would have actually put you significantly ahead. Now keep in mind, what Craftkiller is doing right now is a big deal. He has actually decided to skip a ton of workers in order to be able to do this push. So simply repositioning your overlords at the attack paths of your opponent, tightening up your build order and going for the really quick 4 queens would have easily managed you to actually stop this push and would have had you a really easy time to actually hold this thing. And honestly, after holding this with taking minimal drone losses, you will be at a significant advantage. Because if you take a look at the income right now, it is 27, which is pretty much like a double of the mineral income right now. And keep in mind, this gas income is really not that worthwhile right now for Craftkiller. So those are a couple of minor adjustments that you could have made that will hopefully help you win next games. I want to thank you guys all for watching this honest review of a game analysis. Please let me know in the comment section below if you enjoy this type of video. And also, if you want me to take a look at your game next, make sure to hit that subscribe button on Twitch TV. I want to thank you guys all for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Hello everyone, my name is Lowko, and welcome to a new video. In general, people seem to agree that video games are really bad for you. You know, I mean, us gamers don't think that, but you know, normal people. They think that